Hello, government students. It's Miss Anderson again with your favorite, a video. So I was sitting here on my couch thinking that I probably needed to give you guys a video with a little bit of instruction because I'm gone today and you're getting your packets on the full session. Now, your wonderful chairs will be handling the class today. So let's give a little round of applause for the amazing work that they are doing in your class. I don't know which one it is because I said either of the caucus leaders could do it, so I suppose it's either Charlie or Ryan. Either one, an excellent choice. Or it could be, for 7th block, either Autumn or Tia, and I think we all agree they are both exceptional choices for leaders in our classroom. So let's give them a round of applause. I'll wait. I mean it. Clap for them. All right. Good job. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, thank you to you guys, as always, for doing such a good job. I had to be gone at the last minute today, so I wasn't planning on being gone, but I know you can handle it. So, speaking of handling it, you should all have one of these little packets in front of you. There it is. This is the very lengthy, detailed description of your full session. So make sure that is out in front of you while we talk. When we're done with this beautiful little video, your chair is going to go over the packet with you and answer questions. They were at the D-Day meeting and they have a lot of information, but they don't have answers to everything. So if you have questions that you need answered, you can absolutely send me an email or you can come and see me on Monday. I'll be in school on Monday, of course. Or you can, try to stuff down your feelings, live with it, and, we'll talk about it next time I'm in class. I'm sure we'll figure it all out, but if it's a real emergency, definitely let me know, okay? All right, so I'm just going to kind of have you guys be looking at your papers while I'm looking at my papers, so we're all going through it together. The first thing that I'm going to say is the full session, as many of you may already know or have guessed, is to be treated with the same level of professionalism as the committee hearings. This is going to be a formal setting. You are expected to dress appropriately, professionally. Kids did a really good job the last time. I'll tell you, though, the couple of things that I saw that were issues in terms of professional dress last time that I just want to highlight. Ladies, you know what I'm going to say. I think you know what I'm going to say. There was a skirt issue. There were several skirt issues, and you're beautiful girls. You don't need skirts that short. Please don't wear super short skirts. Please, if you don't have a skirt that's long enough, wear slacks, okay? So let's avoid the super short skirt issue and kind of do the professional skirt look. For gentlemen, I thought the gentlemen looked great, but again, ties. Everyone needs to have a tie, and make sure that you have that tie pushed all the way up for your entire day. Or in this case, it's going to be half a day. So if you don't want to wear the tie all day, bring another shirt to wear, because in the morning you are going to need to wear it. Expectations, behavior, for the first full session next Friday, we're going to have a senator, a Wisconsin senator speaking for us. So this is a really big deal to have somebody like that come and speak for us. So make sure that you are behaving and all that kind of stuff appropriately. You need to make sure that you are actually in the Performing Arts Center at the start of first block. We'll be, of course, in the morning in the Performing Arts Center, and it's going to be really important that you guys follow the plan and sit with your committees. You're going to be actually sitting with your caucus members in your committee, and as you guys know, the assistant whips are your committee chair people. So make sure that you are aware of that so that when we get into the PAC, you know where to go. And we'll go over that next week too, where you're going to be sitting. The bills are going to come up in rotation. So as you guys know, next week you'll find out who is speaking. We'll also in class next week be practicing speeches. So if you get assigned a speech, you'll have time to practice it. Also, the people who are bill sponsors. So if your bill is a bill that's going forward and you are actually going to speak about that bill, we'll practice those as well. If you're doing a closing for your speech as this bill sponsor, we're also going to practice that. In class today, you guys are going to get the bill packets, the packets of all those bills that are going forward, plus you're going to get handout worksheets that you need to do with each of those bills. Just like with the committee hearings, it is essential that every single person in this class read every single bill. Some of you didn't read the bills before committee hearing, and that really detracted from your committee's experience. So make sure that you do all that reading, and then you do the handout packet. Now, we're not going to have the debacle that we had last time with handouts and where were they and what happened. You are going to turn those handouts into me at the end of class next week on Wednesday. So they are due at the end of class next week on Wednesday. So there won't be the chaos like we had with where did my packet go on the committee hearing day. But here's the catch. Each teacher for the government classes only has a class set of those bill packets because there are so many of those bill packets. We decided to save paper, that we would actually just have class sets. So you're only going to be able to work on these handouts actually in class. When we're done with all of these descriptions and all of this stuff, you're actually going to get the remainder of class today to work on that bill packet. So use the time. Don't just sit around and socialize. Don't go on your phones and start texting or goofing around or doing other work, because in class is the only time you're going to be able to work on those bill packets. So it might be hard to focus and concentrate for much of class today, but you're going to be better off if you do, because next week if you don't have them done, you're going to be in a tough situation. Okay? All right. Let me look here. What's on my list? Let's see. So I want you guys, when I'm done with this video, your chairperson's going to go through and you're literally just going to read this entire packet together. So I'm not going to read it with you because frankly, that would be boring. So you're going to do it together with your chairperson. So you're going to go through the whole process, talk about the presentation of the speeches, how long you have. Then on the next page, talking about how the voting process will be conducted. Read through it. Again, next week we'll have an opportunity to ask questions. So if there are questions you really need answers to, you can email me, but otherwise we'll do it next week. And then the vote. So that's the next piece on this sheet. Read through who's who in the full session. We talked about that a little bit earlier this week and what the roles of everybody are. But other than that, that's pretty much, this packet and what you guys need to be doing. Again, your chair people and the people in your room who are caucus leaders have lots of information on this. If you're an assistant whip and you were not at the D-Day meeting today, which is Friday, you need to make sure you touch base with me immediately on Friday morning. I need to touch base with you because there's a lot of information that you need. So if you for some reason forgot or couldn't come, it's not a disaster, but it will be if you don't come and see me. So please do touch base with me. If you are one of the parliamentarians or the head whip, or if you're doing any of the other leadership positions like the sergeant at arms, make sure that you're in contact with Celia Main, who is of course the Speaker of the House. And finally, be in contact with your majority and minority leaders. Make sure that your speeches and all of the information that you are going to be delivering as part of your presentation, whether you are sponsoring a bill or if you're chosen to speak, is in keeping with what they're looking for in order to get these bills passed. Because remember, that is the ultimate goal after all of this work that you guys have done. That's the goal at full session next week, is to actually get your bills passed and to get them passed as a party, or the bills that you believe in if you're promoting a bill that's actually not part of your caucus, which is also completely legitimate and reasonable. So, okay, well, I think that's all. I hope you have a good weekend. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Oh, hey, Nelson Mandela died. He died today. So if you don't know who he is, we would have talked about this in class today. So I'm going to take a second to just mention it. that Nelson Mandela, he was the first president of South Africa after the end of a time period called apartheid. And apartheid was a system of government that was in place in South Africa between the mid 1800s and the late 20th century. So over 100 years in South Africa, there was a system in which Africans, black Africans, and white Africans were physically and forcibly separated by the government. Black Africans were not allowed to rule, weren't allowed to live in certain places. They were economically repressed. It was a really, really awful, repressive time in the history of South Africa. And Nelson Mandela was a leader of a movement. The African National Congress was the name of his organization that actually rose up against the white leadership in South Africa. He was imprisoned for over 30 years for, they called him a traitor. He was actually convicted of treason. And when he emerged from prison, he emerged as a hero, and South Africa elected him as their first post-apartheid leader. And so it's a sad loss. And if you don't know anything about Nelson Mandela, I really recommend you read about him. He is a fascinating character in world history. And you know, as we study government and look at how governments function, I think it's important to look at too comparative governments, like what has happened in other places in other parts of the world. This government that we have, that we're learning about, isn't the only government that exists. And it's certainly not a perfect government, but it is, you know, one that you really shouldn't take for granted. And the freedoms and liberties that you guys possess within this system are something I think you should reflect a little bit on. So it's my little speech about Nelson Mandela. He was somebody that I really admired a great deal. So I just wanted to put that out there. But have a good weekend. Okay. Bye. See you guys.